Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Bulldozer Investing. Today is January 14th, 2021. It is 4:03 p.m. right after the market close, U.S. Eastern Time. We have a big list today, a lot of requests, so I'll try to cover all of them as fast as possible. We might go over well above 30 minutes today. We'll start with Vixx. I told you yesterday I was getting mixed signals. Vixx looks like it's about to rebound from this channel, and it might go ahead and test at least the bottom of the cloud. And Vixx had a volatile day. I believe it closed the day positive, and it kind of got stuffed right on this, on the daily, right on the 50-day moving average. I believe that Vixx is probably going to drop more. So we'll have, after the holiday, most likely on Tuesday that week, the earnings season start and everything. So I believe that the market will rise a little. But let's take a look at the hourly just to be sure. On the hourly, it looks like it did a double bottom. So again, on the daily, the moving average crossover was bearish, but on the hourly, as you can see, Vixx did do a technical stop right at the 50 fib line, and it might flag and try to test 2396. So maybe tomorrow, because of the holiday coming, market is closed on Monday, we might see some profit taking, especially from the names that went up today. So I wouldn't be surprised if Vixx tests the 2396 area. So let's go ahead and do this. Okay. So that being said, short-term bullish on the hourly. Let's take a look at 4 hours. On the 4 hours for Vixx, a big green candle again hitting. It might come down a little and then retest this area. So the market's expecting volatility from markets right now. I say the most we'll probably hit will be the 2766 on Vixx. Until inauguration, things can be very volatile. So we'll see how that goes. We did have the stimulus news, which kind of markets were happy about. And then Powell spoke, the market went down a little. It was volatile. Expect a lot of volatility all throughout till the inauguration and the earnings. Now looking at SPY, there's nothing wrong again. It's just flagging, no technical damage until we break this fib support. I can say we can even go all the way down to 370, and that should be a normal pullback. As you can see, we've done that so many times with this trend line. Things just pull back, pick up, pull back, pick up, and we're over this channel, which was a resistance, the fib resistance, not the channel, I'm sorry. Right now, 377.97 seems like a good support. So basically 378. It's an apparent flag. It's just that Vixx to me looks a little mixed up. I can't really read it. What I'm thinking is it's probably gonna go swing up. So let's take a look at Vixx again. So this is a flag. We might do a false breakdown and retest this lower channel, which is about 375 area. So that one maybe pull the Vixx up. So this area. So Vixx might touch the 2396 or even go as high as $25. That might be a snap pullback for SPY, and then things will come down. So Vixx is pretty supportive. That's what I'm afraid of. Like I don't know what SPY is going to do, or the market's overall going to do, because I do see a relative support on Vixx. And it's been a longer, so if you look at this trend right here, or the line, the support line I drew, there's two lines, and it's being pretty supportive until it breaks this line right here. So the second line right here, which was a very good support. Which was a very good support all throughout here and all throughout here. So until we break down this downwards toward this line, then the markets will move up probably to 4K, SPY being 4K, and VIX will probably hit 1433.15 area. Okay, so that's VIX and SPY. Now let's cover our requested stocks. So Apple was requested. I keep telling everybody that do not expect anything out of Apple until earnings. Reason why I say that is because we don't want Apple to move up before the earnings. So this starts to look like a bear flag a little, but just like we said on Moderna, I think, even though it looks like a bear flag, the internals are going to cross over. So the MACD, stochastics, I'm sorry, is about to cross over. MACD is still chilling, so that will relax, maybe hit 127.74 or even come down to test 126.88 area. That's fine. 20-day moving average seems like a resistance. So when I did say, I remember when we were up here and I told people to expect to fill this gap right here at 128 and even further down, a lot of people had asked me, I have January 15th options for 140. What should I do? Well, you're at 138.79 and you're 3-4 weeks away from January 15th, $2 away, sell. You know, like, don't ask me. I'm not going to tell you buy and sell. But what I did tell people is that Apple will come down before earnings. And that's exactly what's going on. So we could see a bounce between this channel, or we could, what I'll rather have is have it go down towards 125, 126 area, and then do a big reverse. Okay. I'm bullish on Apple on long term. Let me pull the weekly chart. So overall, I'm pretty much expecting, you know, Tesla is a different breed, of course. The valuation here is like more than 800 billion, and it's a growth stock, I understand, but Apple is not so innovative either, I could say that. But here you can see another trend on the weekly. So it's totally normal for Apple to even come down towards 125 and then move up towards 150. Okay. Options are very risky at this time. Everything is so volatile. You have to be very lucky. You have to be very lucky to make some money. Eventually, we could even target, my target would be 180. Okay. This means that we'll probably have very nice back-to-back good earnings, and we'll just follow a trend like this. Okay. So we'll see what happens with Apple. Again, short term, 125, long, I would say a month or so, month or two, 151, 150 area after the earnings, I wouldn't be surprised. But I do see a lot of selling with Apple. We did have a push up with the car news, Apple car news and everything, but I see relatively selling. So I'm not sure what the institutions are doing. I thought that they would buy in big tech because of any, like, yeah, it's a slow moving stock, but it's more secure. So I thought that people would buy in. We'll see what happens. I mean, I do see a W on the weekly and a flag. So it might, again, I'm a contrarian here, but if after 125, I might seek for 150 calls for 3 months out. That's what I'm probably going to do. Try to pick like cheap calls, and we'll see. Facebook. So the social media stocks have been getting beaten down, but wow, on the weekly. So let's handle the weekly first. On the weekly, internals are not looking so good for Facebook unless and until if the earnings change the direction. But this pennant, basically there's a pennant here on the weekly. it broke down and it got a pretty nice support on this previous bottom. So 245. Things don't look too good for Facebook. We could even test 237.92. However, on the earnings day, everything can change. Okay, so let's clear this out. Let's go to daily. So that's why I like to zoom out sometimes. So daily, even if you're a long-term trader, if you want to do monthly, just to see the overall scheme of things, obviously on the monthly chart, that's a big fail. Okay, so you can even draw something like this on the monthly. So let's get rid of this pitchfork. Okay. Yeah, this looks nasty. So I could even change the color of this. Again, the thing is Facebook can have very surprise earnings. Like, look at this month on the earnings, on the month of the earning. So here didn't do too much. Okay, so on the month of this earning season, so month of earning season for the first month of, or I think this is the last quarter, quarter 4, right? So if you look at the previous trends, so on the 2020 or 2019, that was a tremendous candle. Flagged, move up, right? So here, it's a big breakdown. I mean, I'm sorry if you're a Facebook investor. I was pretty positive around here, so I thought it would break upwards towards 350. But this looks like a big, nasty candle on the monthly. On the weekly, again, things don't look too pretty. You can even go like this, okay? Things don't look pretty for Facebook. On the other hand, we can get a 50-day moving average support. When have we, and if we can't, it'll just move back down to all the way down here to 220. So only way this chart can get fixed is if Facebook has tremendous earnings plus forecast for next quarter, guidance for next quarter. So let's look at daily. If things, things do not look good for Facebook on the daily as well. Unless we see something like this, right? Unless we see a double bottom here. You want to be a contrarian, play very cheap calls, that's your decision. But this area could be doable. Okay. So if earnings come out great, then Facebook, I'm sorry it took a lot of time, but I was pretty darn surprised that I haven't been following Facebook for a long time. I think this is the fallout due to like Trump banning and all the other political drama things. With Twitter too, same thing can be said with Twitter as well. So I think that's all the political drama. Okay, so there you go. This 271 to 77 range could be possible, which is where the cloud is. And if you're a long-term investor, maybe 331. Okay. However, this is, I don't know if this would be technically correct. That's the issue. So only way maybe the earnings, it'll shoot up all the way to 270 and then come back down. But this chart does not look good to me right now. On the monthly, on the weekly, on the daily, I don't know what to say. So nothing looks good on here so far. Okay. So just do your own due diligence, risk taking. Again, I'm not judging fundamentals of the company, only technical. Netflix. So Netflix, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the same way. Let's take a look at the monthly, right? So the monthly is on a big consolidation, on a huge consolidation. The last earnings pretty much didn't do anything to Netflix. And then I actually want to see if they're gonna say anything like, let's say that coronavirus is, recovering and everything. I wonder what their estimation, like viewers and all the subscriber numbers. So I wonder what they're going to say about that. Is it going to increase? Is it going to decrease? And so forth. I mean, you could do something like this. I don't know if it's doable. So this is what I see, guys. I'm not going to draw anything. Only thing I'm going to draw is just this area, okay? Is basically have been the trading range. You can play, maybe it'll come down earnings 460 and then play the 500, 550 calls for long term. You can do that. That's your own risk and due diligence, of course, but I don't see the momentum in these stocks anymore. So previously we had the Netflix, Facebook, Apple flying. Now people are going for more faster moves like, GameStop, all the other, maybe some of the stocks that we're going to cover today. So times have changed. Trading patterns, trading behavior has changed. So for you to keep yourself in the game, you have to follow the game. Now, I mean, here is a good buying point according to this trend right here. So if you look at the bottom channel that I just drew, it looks pretty supportive, but it did close under 20 moving day average. When this moves, it moves like, pretty big, like 513 to like $20-$30 moves. So I believe that it might come to 538, but we'll see further. So it's all earnings, guys. Last earning pretty much plummeted. Okay, the other earning before that pretty much rocketed. So it's all earnings games, and if you want to gamble, go ahead. It's just that this chart has been in this range for some time, and it's waiting for a squeeze out. Okay. So that is Netflix for you. You can play this game right here. Okay. Let's make this shorter. You can play it. It'll move towards up. I don't know. We'll see. We can draw some fibs, but I don't know what the fib levels would be. But this is the weekly, right? Let's look at the daily. So on the daily, only fib retracement I see is this. So it did actually hit the 61, came back. Maximum upside I see on this one is 578, which is probably near a little above all-time high. So if earnings come good, we could go there. Okay, but again, it's very risky. Do your own due diligence. Make sure you do your own risk analysis. BIGC. So we're gonna move fast from here. We covered the big boys. Let's move on. BIGC. Wow. So we haven't covered this for some time now. It did show some strength on the bottom of 57, and I know I have a lot of friends that said, I sold this thing at 70. Why wouldn't I buy it at 57? And they stuck on. This thing is moving on. It broke this channel right here. It broke out, came back in. But I think the 65 level is pretty supportive because if you zoom back out, pretty much if you look here, 65 has been the bottom. So it basically reclaimed that level again. I see the first level to be $71.93 and the second level to be $75 if it goes from there. Okay, it'll definitely shoot up to test the cloud bottom. So here it tested the cloud bottom right here. So let's zoom in. Oh, I'm sorry about that. So if we come back here, you see this cloud bottom and you see the closing candle. It basically tested that level. So the next level would be, I'll tell you this, 69. So record this down if you have BIGC. 69 area, $69, 71, 75. Or actually, my bad. If you look at the green line right here, I think it's span A. 72.71 would be my upside target for this one. But it might come back down here to get a support at 65 and then try to test the 72.50 level. Okay. So let's go ahead and draw this out. So we're expecting this range right here. A lot of short on this, so this is a long-term play if you like to. I like this name. I don't know why it's hated so much, but it broke out of this long-term trend. So I see some upwards in the long term. Next up is Nvta. This was another request. I don't know what this company does. I'm not familiar, but it seems like it had done a double bottom here, or you can call it an ABC pattern, whatever you like. And it completed the retracement back to 55.96 on a perfect note. The internals are still bullish on a recovery mode. I don't know what the story is behind this company. Let it settle. It did come back. So as you can see, like I didn't draw this to the point. If I wanted to, I can, play around with this a little bit here, a little bit there, and there you go. So it did touch to the point, 61.8, came back. Even if it comes back down to 50.97, that's fine. If you're a long-term player on this name, look for $64 and $79. Okay. So if you draw this trend line, so as I said before, so one technical to another, it always comes out. I just roughly sketched in my eye and I said, even if it comes down to 50 something, right? What did I say, like 50.95 or something? So here, there's a support right here, comes down to like 50, or even actually this cloud line right here, $50 to be exact. So let me draw this line. I don't know if this was a straight line. So if you see here, let me make this red. You see this red line, it could come down as far as that. Now you could draw a fib retracement to see how far it can come back. That's fine. So let's draw a fib retracement here. The fib retracement says the 48 and 46 worst case scenario. So let's highlight that for the worst case scenario. Again, I don't know what the motive is behind this company or what news it hit. I don't know the volume or how it acts daily. So some of the stocks I watch daily, so I know their behavior. I can analyze it much better. But we could even do this retracement, something like this. Yeah, this would be a little better actually. This is exactly where we said it would come down to, but a little further down. That's where I'm seeing. So this range right here. Okay. All right, so expect to test it in cloud, come back. I think when it comes back, it'll easily get to 64, and it might hit the resistance line here. So I'd say 64.57 would be a nice target for this. Okay? So let's move on. Let me actually take a look at the weekly to see how this looks. Yeah, so on the weekly for Nvta, as we mentioned, it could go up here. Pretty nice support on the 20-day moving average on the weekly. Bounced off, can come to a retracement and then shoot back up. Or it can come down as low as you see this support. So watch out for this support at 53.21. okay? Or 43.21, I'm sorry. So on the weekly, when we zoomed out, we saw a couple more things. All right, so let's move on to skills. I think this was a merger with a SPAC, or I don't know if it's still a SPAC. So let's take a look at the daily. I'm not good with SPACs, as I've told everybody many times before. So when I do the technicals, these stocks move on news. And I think Skills was a gaming company. I'm not sure, so I don't want to like give an orientation or introduction on this company because I have very limited knowledge. I might be right, I might be wrong, so I don't want to mislead people. Pretty nice support on the 100 fib. If it shoots up, it'll go to 29.98. But again, sometimes the news, the short selling, it could continue. If it comes down, where would it come down? It would probably come down to 22.50. So you can do another retracement, something like this. So this was a nice flag actually. So either way, the fib lines kind of meet up in the same way. So before you see this 100%, so expect a retracement back to 24. So this range would be a retracement. Okay. And this could be a pretty supportive area right here. So I'll draw another box. Oh, I'm sorry, what did I do? So this could be another range where the moving averages and the strong support here. Okay. But I believe it's probably going to flag, do something like this, right? It's going to flag and then move up. So it'll probably flag a couple days and then move up. But if you were to ask the target, my target to the upside would definitely be off this range. Okay. So 31.50 would be the range that I'd look for. But let it complete the flag and then get in, unless it's waiting for a news or something. We'll see. All right, next up, let me actually do this more correctly. Okay, so next up, as you can see, like this is right to the point. So these fibs are drawn. Maybe I draw it too quickly and you're like, what is he doing? But it's like to the cent. There you go. So this is okay. Yeah, perfect. So fib was 27.50. It hit 27.40. I'm sorry about my dog. He's barking crazy downstairs. So if that interrupts, just please excuse him. He's trying to get attention. All right. That was skills. GRVY. First time I'm hearing this stock. I'm sorry if I should be knowing these names. Gravity. If this is what I'm thinking, if this company has anything to do with space and X news came out, it might be a derivative. It might be a motivation for this stock to go up. I see the support line. It's sitting right at the support line, so that's a good thing. I see a perfect double bottom. I think the technicals look good on this. Your first target should be the 20, I mean not 20, I'm sorry, the 209 to 215 area. So that should be your first target. If it hits there, it might do a retracement and then shoot back up to 230, 293. Again, I don't have too much info on these companies, but the chart looks darn bullish. I mean, let's look at the weekly, but I like the chart. It has been on a huge run, impulsive moves to the upside. If If it manages to break above 215, I believe that's when another impulsive run will continue towards 300. Okay. So expect to hit if it goes up. Again, these are not buying advices. I'm just first time seeing this company. How can I tell somebody to buy it? I'm only giving technical education here. So if you ask me this name, you own it, or you're planning to buy it, you have to do further due diligence. This is just me looking at the technical. Okay. So if it goes up, 160, 161 level seems fine as well, which is 261.43 on the price level. And it could very well go all the way up to 300 on the weekly chart. Okay? Let's look at the next stock, which is BIDU. I covered this the other day. I see that the most upside to this is 276, and then we'll see what happens from there. Let's take a look at the weekly. It's an impulsive run. I like this to rest a little, but I see this institutional buying volume. MACD is nowhere near to be crossed or going down, so there's on the weekly, this is of course on the weekly, there's definitely an institutional buying behind this. And I don't know what the reasoning could be behind their buying point, but as we said, the all-time highs are near 284, so expect to reach there, but this needs to breathe and rest a little. I like the stock when it rested here and then just, you see this trend line here, broke out. That's what we want. Let it rest. We come down in the cloud and then run, right? But I don't like to catch stocks from here. That's very risky. But if you ask me, the upside to this is 278. BIDU to me, as I've always been, as far as I've been on the stock market, it's always been very slow moving stock. So as you can see, this range, it'll go down, up, then it'll have an impulsive move, stay, and then go down, and had an impulsive move, kind of do like this, and then go down. So it's never been a stock that has been appealing to me. Okay. So let's move on to the next. American Airlines was asked by a couple people actually. This is the weekly chart. Let's switch back to daily. It broke out. Okay, I missed this one because we covered it a while back. So it broke out. This is nice. I believe the stimulus, the Delta earnings had, and it got a pretty nice support on the 20. Let it come back to this trend, maybe 1595, 16 area. It could be a nice entry. Let's figure out some of the points for extension. My target for this one could go as high as this. I don't know why my dog is barking right now. It's annoying. I'm sorry for the frustration, but there you go. So this range and this range is doable. So let's see how it behaves, and let's see how other lines. So the thing is with this one is also the earnings, and earnings can be really bad on this one, like last time it has been, and it hasn't spiked up on the earnings at all. So that's my only concern, even for the last couple of earnings, right? Crash down here, went kind of stable, then crashed down here. So I don't know on American Airlines, but maybe if you go on, other airlines like Spirit, there are other great airlines. The chart looks kind of the same on all of them. So I did trade Spirit more often. Let's see how the earnings go on this. So Spirit, I remember this day crashed down 7%. I bought it and huge break upward. So I believe that Spirit would be a better name or there are better names out there like United Airlines and so forth than American Airlines. I'm sorry, I'll be right back. Scooby? Okay, sorry for the brief interruption. I'm back. Let's take a look. BIDU, American Airlines, Moderna. Now this has hit the spot where we were talking about, and I said just be patient. It looks like a bear flag, but we might be actually like faking out a breakdown. And then I was expecting, I said just be patient and eventually we'll hit the box. And these boxes are, guys, they're usually spot on. If you had, it's usually to the cloud. So this is good. Very nice candles after this breakdown. I said just be patient. Let's wait for the 20-day moving 50-day moving average support. It has been actually the 100-day moving average has been a tremendous support on this one. Moving averages are looking bearish though. So we'll see how that goes. Actually, let me see. This is actually 20-day. I'm sorry, I messed up. The 100-day is here. So they're kind of in the same color. That messed me up. So the 20 is crossing back. So we said the bearish here, right? So the 20-day, so everything is crossed. I like this. So the moving day averages are looking bullish. So this chart broke above the moving day averages. Expect this thing to go to 145 and 171. This name looks good. Very nice. So sorry about that. My color configuration I have to change because I get the 20-day and the 100-day moving averages very mixed up. So right here, it broke. If it comes down, where it would come down to is 122. And right here where the lines meet, the 117. I don't think that will happen. I think this is institutional. Somebody decided to pick up this name. I have to read the news of who's purchasing it or what, you know. I mean, there's so many news coming out about increase in coronavirus cases. That could be leading to it. So I believe this thing is going to go up to 145 at least. Okay? So that's my target on Moderna. Space. So of course the news again with Kathy Wood going towards the space or ARC-X overbought levels. This thing looks bullish. We did say we've been covering space. Unfortunately, I had to average down for Palantir, and I couldn't buy it. I said I'd wait for 22s, and it did come. I was spot on. It was like the basic bottom. When people were chasing this, I said, wait, don't chase it because of the bearish cross over. Let's go ahead and wait and see if we can get to 20s, 22s, high 22s, and it did happen. After that, now we're seeing a bullish crossover, and this skyrocketed. So 35, and I've said this many times that this stock is going to be a $42 stock. It will eventually, but I don't know how many shorts are in there, but that is a huge volume bar. Last time we saw it, it was here, and it flagged, move up, and it was a wavy ride. I think that's what we're going to see. Same thing here, went down and then picked up. So if we go down a little, then pick up, I wouldn't be surprised. But I got to check the short float on it. My target, since we were down here, I kept saying this is a $42 stock, and I think that's where it's heading. Beyond. I think I added this name just to show you what shorts could do to a stock on a positive way. Huge break upwards. It hit the 50% Fibonacci level. However, I wouldn't chase this name yet because it's testing the cloud. Most of it could go to is 155. I think the options move quick on this. So people who are playing options are probably playing this name. I want to be very cautious with this name. I'm not ready yet. Once I miss the opportunity, I don't like to chase it. So let's delete this long-term fib line we draw. Yeah, so the 100-day moving average or 147 is a good place to sell this. I don't know what how many short percentage is left, but it was pretty high. It could push us all the way up to this range right here, 168, 170. Okay. SNDL, that was another name that I think I might have picked up just from my scanner. Under the radar, the chart looks bullish, broke above the cloud. I believe it's a penny stock. It hit the 50-day moving 50-day retracement, came back down. It's probably curling up, something like this, to the upside. Again, this is a penny stock. Do your own risk analysis and due diligence. 150s would be an ideal play for this. Okay. So let's take a look at ZOM, Zomedica. Okay. Had a hot run. Again, it's a penny stock. I've heard that it's trying to go above $1 to be, listed on Dow Jones, I think it was. Or if it doesn't, it'll be an OTC. I like the flag. I like the hourly charts on this. Okay. You see how the fibs play. I like how when stocks act very technical. You see how the support came in twice. Now you can say it's a head and shoulder. We can see that as well. But I think this is a well shot to play. I mean, you can do your own risk. But I think this baby is flying up. I think 4 hours would be more ideal drawing for this. Let's go to 4 hours because it's hard to pick anything on the hourly at this point. So broke out. Let's delete this fib because that was 10 and this is now. All right, so pretty much on the hourly and the 4 hours, I think this is going to first hit 142, 121 area, probably flag and come back, but watch out for the head and shoulders. But it did, the second shoulder is higher, so I think this is just a squeezed out wedge going over. Let's take a look at the short percentage on this one. Oh, I actually had it up. Not many shorts. A float of shares is not that bad either. So if it was like 20 million with a lot of shorts, it could have went up. There's a huge gap here as well, so watch out for the 60 and the 50 cent area as well. Just a little risky play, but is it worth it? Yeah, it could be a good risk. You know, if you pick up $1 and it goes to $1.46, that's 46% on your money, kind of like options in a way. Next up is Lemonade. Now Citron came out with short price target of $100. Probably crashed the internals on the 4 hours. Let's take a look at the daily. Let's delete this. Let's delete this. So let's go ahead and draw this thing out of scratch. So am I surprised that this had like is dropping right now? Not really, because it went up. When I wanted to get in, this company was $4. Actually, this was a very nice play. I don't know why I didn't get in, but eventually it just went up. A lot of shorts on this name. I love Andrew Left being short on this name as well. Most, I think, would come down to his 140, and Andrew is going to get burned the heck out, just like he did all year long. Okay. And let's get the Wall Street bet guys. Wall Street bets, I think that's what, yeah. Wall Street bets guys to burn the heck out of this Andrew Left. 20% short. There's already enough shorts in here, and 37 million float of shares. Company insider transactions, there's a sell-off, there's no buying, but I don't care. I think I can easily wait till 130, 140 area, let it establish, let it do a pennant, let it do a flag and a breakout. This thing it's going to go to 200. Okay. Now we don't want to go in this stock while it's dropping. We want to make sure that it formed a bottom. Okay. Or you can do a trend line and it breaks out. That's when we want to get in. So right now, I don't know if it's going to bounce back up tomorrow 10% or not. There's no bottom in yet. But if you can see here, there's a clear higher lows and a pennant and a breakout. Your buying point would have been 125, 126, and then bam. Okay. The short amount on this one was huge. It decreased a little, but even as if it is right now, it's really high. What I would suggest for anybody to do at this point is wait patiently and wait for a breakout. Yeah, so I was kind of right on my price target here. I said wait for 140s, right? So right around here. Actually, that's not a correct way, but it might come out the right way. So let's take a look. Yeah, regardless. So regardless what we draw on the fib, it just hits there. So that being said, I'll be waiting patiently for a confirmation. Huge volume though. We'll see how that plays out. And the cloud top is sitting right here too. So we'll see how that plays out, guys. When shorts get burned like GameStop, things get on fire. Things get really, fast moving. Saw this on Twitter. Zoom Info. Of course, I know the company. I mean, like I haven't done a research on it. I just been charting it previously, as you can see. And I saw an interesting price target on it, and I decided to go ahead and chart it today. And as always, as I promised, I'll chart it from scratch for everybody who's trying to learn. And sorry if it takes too long, the videos, but I believe if you're watching my videos, you should watch it for educational purposes. You can fast forward. I'm not here to give you price targets and tell you to buy and sell. I'm here to educate, so like it or not. Okay. So obviously we see a trend line, right? So there's two trend lines. So we were going down, so you can do this. We were going down, broke up. Okay. So something like this. Okay. So this is the downtrend or a wedge. Okay. Broke out of it, retested it, came back. Okay. So at this point, what you could do is, if you wanted to know like where would be the first, point that it would go to, you can always draw something like this, and the 161 extension topped out. So as historically, I'd like to know where it tops out. First thing it hit was 61. So let's go ahead and do some educational review on this chart. So what I did is I drew a fib retracement from this top to this bottom, and it might have not been the exact point, but so what happened here is this thing ran close to 50%, broke out of the falling wedge, and came right about and closed the day at the 61%. Came down, got a support at the 20-day moving average. I'm sorry about that. So 20-day moving average. And then when it got supported, it went right to 100%. Okay, probably dropped down a 50 fib retracement here, then went up and went to 161.8. So that has been the history from then. So now let's look at it now. Okay. How I would like is instead of a retracement, I would like to do an extension on this. Okay. So the extension, what I would do is I'll pick this bottom, this top, and this bottom right here. Played out perfect. Actually, went to 50, came back, got a support at the 50, just like how the history repeated itself. It went to 61, but this time went down a lot. And now it touched 50 again. So I like this fib that we drew because it is behaving, the price moments are proving us that we drew this thing right. Okay. Inverse hammer, but close the day with a green hammer. I believe this thing is going to retest 46, 48. My ultimate target for this name would be $62. Now it's going to be a long ride. It's going to be a wavy ride, and it might, and let's draw another pennant here, and it might just tire you out. I can't say anything about that, but again, you can watch this wedge, or a pennant, might as well. You see the waves, 1, 2, 3. It might get a support at 44, retest 46, 48, 53, and then you're eventually either going to hit this channel at 60. So I might as well as do this. Okay. There you go. So that's Zoom Info Technologies. Okay. Uber. I was watching this name to see if it would come back, and it did. And it never surprises us because it always comes back and gives us an opportunity. So let's close this. Let's delete this. And let's say that, let's do a retracement and say, what is the move for here? I would say that I wouldn't be surprised if it tests right here at the bottom of the channel. Okay. Now, once it tests that, I would do a extension of something like this, and say it'll then test this level, and then it'll test probably 64. Okay. So we're waiting for it to come back, retest at least 54.87, at most 53.64, then run up, retest to 50 and 61, flag a little, come back, and go up. Okay. It's a clear trend here. Okay. Just watch that trend. So we'll have to trigger. We have to set an alert and say, give me an alert when 54.90, let's say. Price last is at or below 54.90. Okay. If you do this, if you do this to yourself, if you do this to your, I'm sure that all the other tools have their kind of alerts. If you do this, then you'll catch them, right? But if you don't, you'll forget about it. Okay. So let's see how this plays out. BTBT, this name, I kind of tracked it down. I've been hearing about it. The crypto thing came back, but again, the internals are kind of bearish on this. However, if this is heavily shorted, let's take a look. As I mentioned, this was going to be a long one. Now we're at 54 minutes. BTBT. Not a lot of short float, actually. It's not as much as I thought it would be. Okay. So this wouldn't be a nice squeeze out play, but I'm also going to watch this because this thing moves fast. Okay. Might want to nibble here and there if it reaches the 20-day or this trend channel right here. We'll see how that goes. Okay. And if you were to do a retracement on this one, it already did this, its retracement, and it's probably going to come back to 1602 again, and then it'll be a nice entry. But again, all the internals, all the moving averages are kind of bearish on this, but if you do want to be the contrarian and play out and see how that goes, we'll see. Something that I'll be watching for. Next is Excel. I think this was requested. This goes with GOEV and other EV sector names. We were spot on with our prediction for this one. We said that I see this stock when it was like 19 bucks. When it was somewhere here, I said it'll go to 23 again. It did. Came back. Let's delete this. And let's delete this, okay? We'll redraw, don't worry. So first thing I want you to take a notice is that there's a clear resistance here. Okay? And there's a range here that we always talk about, okay? You gotta watch for the range. There you go. Let's draw the box of this range. Now let's take it. Usually there are other tools that does this by default, so I had to do this manually. So I'm looking at this cloud top resistance right here. 26 would be an ideal bullish run for this. I still cannot figure out why it's doing this extension so much. Okay. Yeah, so let's wait. I want to wait for this name a little. Let's take a look at the hourly, because I want to see a breakout and then get in. But clearly there's higher lows. Let's see if this trend follows up. Okay, where I would probably get in would be the 2188. Is it already there? 2165. Yeah, it would be a good entry and ride it up to 2434, which would be the opening of this candle, closing of this candle. So that could be an ideal situation. We'll see how this plays out. But if this goes, and this is running smoothly, by the way, I think it's just going to curl up. Okay? And we can do the extension. Okay. Extension tells me another price point of 28 and 30, so let's wait and see. But I want this trading range to break out. Okay. So let's see what happens. I think this is Bath, Body, and Beyond. That's what Bed, Bath, and Body. Bed, Bath, and Beyond. So I drew this beforehand. I think I was watching this already. On the daily, I think the max upside to this is $29. It already broke above the previous high. You can do an extension on this one. Something like this would work. So as you can see, it already reached, and if I did this like spot on, it would probably be right even a little above, but it did reach. So the max upside, let's take a look. I did say that it would, following the trend lines, I did say 29, but let's push it higher, and let's draw this box right here. So that would be my max upside. I don't know if this is heavily shorted, so let me take a look at that quickly. Wow, 62%. This could be the next GameStop. Holy shoot. Okay. Never mind on my price target, guys. this could go unbelievably high. I mean, I do see a trend. I did draw this pretty good, but the squeeze could be tremendous on this. I know I don't remember the last time I visited Bed Bath and Body, or I'm sorry, I keep saying this wrong. Bed Bath and Beyond. I don't remember the last time I have been in the store. I don't know if they're applying some sort of online commerce or whatever, but the reason for this move is because of shorting. On the weekly, it is more apparent. This wedge, falling wedge, is more apparent. Okay, this is a very nice squeeze out. Let this come back to you a little. I don't know if it would because of the shorts. I don't know how much they have to cover and how many days. Give them 3 days, so it might unbelievably go to 41, and I wouldn't be surprised. After I saw the amount of short float on this thing, and having 116 million shares, that's going to squeeze things out. So never mind on my first prediction. This thing could, so you just want to leave this out. If you made a profit here, I'd say play with the house money and just let it go. Because there is no price target for this one. If it's 62% squeeze out, you can even see a 50%, 60% day, just like GameStop here. Okay. The Snap, I wanted to review this name because even though it had a bad day today, it did have a good support on the weekly, on the moving average, and on the daily, it could go a little further down to 47, but I think this would be a good opportunity to nibble some of this stock because it is, I think the reason why it finally dropped is because they said they're also banning Trump. So they were kind of quiet on it. Guys, by the way, nobody cares about Trump anymore. The reason why these things are dropping is because you do this to Trump today. How would I know you're not going to do this to some other guy, Biden maybe, right? So so this is the free speech. The free speech idea kicks in, and these things run on number of users. So maybe Trump followers will probably not use it or whatever. You're going to say, I don't care, but we don't look at these things politically. We only look at these things on trading side, right? It's going to affect the stock no matter what. So I would say if it does do a dead cat bounce, 53, 54 area, ultimately maybe after earnings 63. But we'll see how that goes. I think the downside today was because of Trump news. I think they decided to permanently ban him, and that's why it collapsed. So when Twitter was falling, this thing was rising because they didn't say anything, but it finally did kick in. So I'd say even down as far as the 50-day moving average. All right, so let's take a look at the next stock, which is CRM, another request. As I have been saying, it's forming a nice base here. This is a stock that you invest, not trade. So if you're in this name to invest, go ahead. Don't even care about the price points. Just buy and just collectively, buy it. But if you're looking to trade this name, I'd say on the short-term side of it, 225, 244 is another level that could go. But I don't like to be in these slow-moving names, honestly. There are other names that are more exciting. FUBO. So a lot of shorts covering up. Where it could retrace. So it's almost there. It almost made it. It is trying to stick onto the 20-day moving average. Not bad. And hammer here. If it does come to this level, I think it would be a nice opportunity to bounce back off of the 100-day moving average and just go for another run. So ultimately, we're looking here. Not bad, not bad. So if I were to do an extension, if this all plays out as we expect, let me do this. Let me change things around a little. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this, and we'll keep this. Okay. We'll see how things go. Long term could point out this gap fill here too. So 57 areas. Okay. Excel, did we cover that already? I thought I covered Excel, so I wrote it twice on my notes. Maybe a couple more people requested it. So the last stock, or the one before last, is RMO. Romeo Power Inc. So I don't know what this company does, but we'll go ahead and look at it technically. Things are on the reversal side. It did get rejected on the 20-day. I believe the support would be 50-day moving average. It could be forming, well, I don't know if this could be counted as a head and shoulder. I don't think so. Let me do this. So let's get this part, take out the high, take out the low. Your target simply would be, I don't know, I mean, it's an energy stock. I don't know what it does. Power, Romeo Power, is it like a, you know, some type of like plug power type of stock, or is it just classic energy stock? I don't know. So type of business does matter, because right now the investment world is changed. You know, we're not looking at Warren Buffett type of investment here. Yeah, this is going to definitely come down to 2041, and then patiently going up. But this, I mean, I don't know. I don't know the stock. I don't want to really mention it and say, you know, this is going to fly, this is going to go here and there, because I honestly don't know what it does. If it does some type of like a EV battery type of business, then it might be different. But even on the chart, I do believe that it probably went up with the EV sector. So I'm guessing that it might have to do with some type of EV sector energy thing. But all I see is selling volume here. I don't know. I'd rather play, you know, your Blink and NDMs that are more predictable. So I don't want to really say anything about this stock until I research it more. And last but not least, Palantir. What happened today? The stock seemed like it was moving, and then SPY kind of went down, and it went down with SPY. Not bad. So today we tweeted, and it did hit, and I said expect a reversal. I said expect a reversal, and it did. Okay. And then from there on, I think the lowest it could go is 24.12, which we were close. So expect something like this. Let me delete this pitchfork because it's kind of annoying now. It's getting on my way. So expect until the very last. So either we fall down or we're going to go up. But I believe this is 125. So at the very tip of this pennant, it's right before the day of the demo day. So either we're going to go up or we're going to go down. But I don't see why would it go down on a demo day afterwards. So we'll see how that goes. But you look at, you know, stock tweets. I don't really take stock tweets as a technical analysis place. There are great people there that I do, like maybe 5 or 6 people that I really follow that they're honestly, I think they're really professionals and way better than I, you know, could draw. But I think Twitter is a much better place for technical charts and analysis. The audience there is, I think, more towards technical side of things, not so much of spamming. Not that I dislike stock tweets, I like it, but it's like if you're looking at it as in a technical view, a lot of people there just like, you know, are there for fun rather than educational purposes. So having said that, I believe we just have to wait on Palantir. Today wasn't a bad day or a good day. But if you look at it overall here, so my yellow line wasn't that bad. 50-day retracement, I mean a 50% retracement here. is almost at where I said it says at 24.12, so it's 24.18. So we could even drop down as far as 23.39. I don't know what the catalyst would be on that, but maybe another downgrade, another analyst coming down with a joke-ass downgrade. So maybe if we do the extension from here, it does hit the 50-line extension, this yellow box, and we'll see how that plays. So this is like thinking, you know, on the downside, right, of things, right? And then this is thinking on the upside of things. So we did reach our first target in a way. My second target is 28.74, 32.59, and then 38.83. So those are the levels that I'm seeking for, but this pennant is squeezing every day, and we're just trading inside this pennant every day. I believe that you got to also look at things in a way of weekly matters. So I know this stock is not, it's a recent IPO. So there you go. It's still in a pennant, kind of broke out. So everything looks good, guys. I mean, like, there's nothing to be worried about on the weekly side of things. And you always have to watch the weekly. So even if we could go down as far as 24.05, that's fine. The next bounce was going to come down come up to 28.74. So we'll see how that plays. Okay. 28.74 is, which is like at the tip of this weekly right here. So around there. Okay. So that's all. This video has been very long. I think one of the longest. It's been an hour. It's been over an hour. I tried to take on and analyze every single thing that was requested to me. So I did my part. I hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to subscribe and give us a like, and have a fun last day of trading of the week. And we're closed on Monday, so I probably won't do analysis on Monday. Friday will be the last one. We'll come back on Tuesday after that. Okay, see you then.